This morning we are out in beautiful Cornell, waking up at the absolutely worst hours in the morning to answer the question, can a filter holder be exciting? The answer is yes. In today's video, we'll be discussing the new NiSi V7 Filter Holder. We'll be looking at some of its key features before taking it out for a spin to shoot some beautiful sunrise photos. We'll then be wrapping it up with some final thoughts, and remember to stay tuned for this week's exciting giveaway. Today, we are looking at the new V7 and the 100mm filter holder from NiSi. First off, I just want to say this box is really nice. It's just really nice packaging. Now that that's out of the way, this filter holder succeeds their already popular V5 and V6 100mm filter holders, and so we'll be looking at some of the new features in the new V7. But first off, why do you want an 100mm filter holder? In the simplest terms possible, this allows you to only have to worry about carrying one set of filters for multiple different lenses. So instead of having filters for every different thread size of lenses that you own, you can just worry about getting one set of glass. Now let's talk about the V7's new features. So the V7 features a new integrated CPL. This is NiSi's new True Color CPL, which is the most color neutral circular polarizer out on the market. In case you're wondering what you use a circular polarizer for, it's simply just to cut out some unwanted glare. So this circular polarizer has absolutely no color or temperature shift when you're polarizing, which is really, really nice for getting some nice accurate photos. The V7 also has a new mounting mechanism, making it easier than ever to pop it on and off of your camera, making it more secure and a lot easier to use. So you can shoot with the ease of mind that your filter holder isn't going to fall off on you in the middle of shooting. The V7 also allows you to shoot 16mm on a full frame camera without any vignetting at all. This is great for when you're getting some of those really, really wide shots and you don't want to worry about getting any vignetting in your image. Now we're going to cut to some footage that we shot earlier this morning with Mitch, a far more talented landscape photographer than I, with his thoughts on using the NiSi V7.
Now, of course, so far we've been talking about the V7 holder, and at the moment, I'm not going to be doing a how-to on how to be doing photography. We've actually got our resident seascape photographer, Ben Mays, who actually did a video a little while ago with the NiSi range. So you can actually check out that video here after this video, of course, and then you can learn all about how to do seascape photography. So I found the composition that I'm going to be going for. It's not the greatest, but for the time that we had this morning to be able to find the comp that we wanted, it's going to be doing fine for the purpose of this demonstration. So we're going to be trying out the CPL with the graduated ND. And so the benefit of graduated ND, I have the 3-stop here. So you can see that there is a clear side that transitions into a dense side. So there's a nice medium edge line in the middle. That's really great for when you're putting it obviously in the actual camera itself, and then giving you that really nice smooth transition from your horizon, which is obviously your background, to then transitioning into the foreground of the actual image that you're going for. So we're going to slot this in the front of the filter holder, and it's really nice because it's just a friction fit in this instance. So we're going to just focus up on the foreground, and we're just going to probably bump the shutter up to maybe f4. I'll just make sure that I've got the ISO and the shutter that I want to be at. So of course now I'm going to be stacking my images, so I'm actually going to be getting different focus points throughout my image so that in post I can then be able to attach them and be able to blend them all together. So I'm just going through now, getting the different points throughout the photo, and then I'll then move on to putting on another filter so I can then work with the foreground. The really great thing that I've noticed so far using the V7 is that there's no vignetting, being all the way open at 16mm on the full frame. Again, I'm using the A7R II with the 1635. So with the old version that I was using, the V6, I did have some issues where I would actually be having some vignetting So now being able to have no vignetting all the way open at 16mm, I now have that extra bit of focal length where I can actually be able to zoom all the way out and actually get more in my image. All right, so now we've got the sun popping out, as you can see behind me. And so we're actually gonna change out the graduated ND and go for a ND64. So again, I'm actually using the NiSi Advanced Kit here. So this is really great because you're able to use older generation filters to be able to go into the V7 holder, of course. And so we're able to use that. So we're gonna change that over and then we'll continue shooting. All right, so we've slotted that in. We've actually, again, we've got the CPL on the front here, which is really good because it does have these dials that allows me to turn it. So I'm gonna just expose for my foreground here, and I'm gonna turn my CPL to the point where I'm really happy with it, where I've taken out the glare that I don't want. All right, awesome. And so again, we're then just gonna move down to the foreground, capture that in the focus points, and then we're gonna move our way onto the background. So again, we do have the ND64, so it is a 6-stop filter. What that allows me to actually do now is go between 1 to 2 minutes exposure with the camera, which is now why I've involved an intervalometer or a shutter remote. You can get these in a wireless or a wired configuration. So I'm gonna be able to change this into bulb, go for maybe a 1 minute to a minute and a half or so exposure. And so what that does, that gives me a really nice dynamic look to the water and the clouds. So let's continue with that. All right, so the image has just come back after my 1 minute exposure. And of course, the background is completely blown out. So I'm gonna involve the graduated filter again. You can, of course, stack these filters. So you can have up to 3 filters with the CPL. So I've got the ND64 in the front, and then I'll be putting the graduated filter just in front of that. So of course, as you can see, we're right next to the water, as any seascape photographer would be. And the one thing that is important to remember is safety. The last time we did this with the Sony 14mm, and we did have a bit of a mishap with the water coming up to our knees.
I don't like wet socks.
I don't like wet socks.
Oh my goodness.
Go.
Oh my goodness.
Mine's open.
Oh! Okay, cut there. The tide just came in. My socks are wet. Our bags are wet.
So just make sure you're staying safe with all that, and make sure that your gear is staying safe. Now, talking about gear and water, I do actually have a Surui W2204, and the W basically means water resistant. And so the benefit of that is that I can have it really close up to the water and not worry about water getting up inside the actual tripod. And it's very easy to clean. You can just put fresh water over the top of it once you're done with it. Well, the fun has all dried up. The sun has just popped over the top of the horizon there. So we've lost most of our golden light, or at least the sunlight that we wanted to have for the images. And so working with the V7 has actually been quite a pleasure. I've been working with the V6 for a number of years, and working with the V7 this morning has just been good with efficient's sake with working with filters. With the new latch, it's actually been really good just to be able to pop it off and be able to put it on in a very quick manner. It's got that nice latch there that's all just this one little mechanism, which is really nice. Putting on the CPL has actually been never easier. It's just a very quick line up the 2 indicators that are on the actual holder and the CPL as well. Make sure you're holding on the little dial, and then one little twist and it's on there. And exactly the same as when you're popping it off. So you don't have to be worrying about fiddling with, trying to put it on this thread. That just doesn't work. And so, although yes, it is a proprietary attachment to the V7, you're going to be getting that with the kit if you're going to be ever upgrading to the V7. Now that CPL is a true color CPL. So it is a new CPL that's a very neutral color. That's the only one that's available on the market at the moment. So yeah, working with this V7, it's been very delightful, to say the least. Well, I'm all done here, so we'll jump back over to Nathan, where he'll be able to have a look at the images that we caught this morning and give some final thoughts on the V7 filter holder.
All right, so looking at some of the photos that we got this morning with the V7, they all look absolutely amazing. Great work, Mitch. The V7 just seems overall much easier to use than its predecessors, and just the entire workflow is just so much smoother with the V7. Mounting the CPL is really nice. Mounting the entire filter onto your lens is really nice. The photos that we're getting out of this are really nice as well. I've said nice a lot of times, but that's okay. Shooting all the way wide at 16mm on a full frame camera such as the A7R II, you do expect to get vignetting in some situations, but with the V7 we got absolutely none at all, which makes it a really great piece of kit for shooting those really wide photos. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video a very exciting giveaway, and as you can probably guess from what's plainly in front of me, yes, we are giving away a NiSi V7 kit. So you can feel this immaculate packaging just for yourself. And on top of that, we're also giving away some 100mm filters from the Explorer series. So here we have a 6-stop ND, and here we have a 3-stop graduated ND. All you need to do to be in the running to win this really exciting landscape photography kit is to upload your best landscape photo to Instagram, hashtag it with George's V7, and I want you guys to follow NiSi Australia and George's cameras on Instagram, as well as tagging them in your photos. Make sure that your account's not on private, otherwise we can't see the photos, and look out on Instagram because the winner will be announced there. Well, that's us for today. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative, let us know by dropping us a like and hitting that subscribe button. If you need any more information about the products mentioned in this video, you can find them linked in the description. Follow us on Instagram for the latest in tech updates, gear news, and giveaways. Thanks heaps for watching, and happy shooting.